Good morning, sunshines. It's Finding Elizabeth. How are you? I am back in Huntington Beach on my way to LA. On Monday, my regular video day. How exciting is that? For those of you who are watching for the first time, I am about 3.5 years post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy. My starting weight on January, when I started my weight loss program, on January 1st of 2014 was 402 pounds. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy on April 14th, 2014 at Kaiser South Bay with Dr. Gary Belsberg. My weight that day was 360.6 pounds. I was in New Hampshire for like a little bit over 3 weeks. I did not have a scale. It was the longest period of time in my whole weight loss that I did not weigh. I have been a daily weigher. There have been occasions when I've been on vacation or something where I haven't weighed, but never for this long. So I was a little worried about what was going to happen when I came back because it was a very emotionally stressful time. I was not eating keto. I was eating foods that I don't usually eat, like grilled ham and cheese sandwiches and English muffins and candy. So I was a little nervous about what it was going to be like when I got back. I wasn't too worried because I didn't feel a difference in my clothes, but I'm a control freak, and so knowing that number is very important to me. So when I left, which was, so the day before I left to go to New Hampshire, which was, I believe, August 26th, I weighed 207.6 pounds. My weight today, which is September 25th, so almost exactly a month later, I weighed 207 pounds. So that's a 0.6 pound weight loss in a month of extreme stress and emotional anxiety outside of all of my routines. So I am super, super, super happy about that. It was really my first big test of something, like of a big wrench being thrown into my life and not having all my things and routines in order, and I did pretty good. I did great. I am probably not going to meet the goal I had set for myself in terms of being at my lowest weight for Obesity Help, which is in a little bit over a month, because I know I can't lose 10 pounds in a month, but it's okay. I feel good about where I am. I waited a few days after I got back to weigh because I knew I was retaining water from flying, and also I hadn't been on my diuretics. So the first day I weighed, which was a couple days ago, I was 210, maybe 210.6. I think I had a 3-pound gain. But by this morning, it was gone, and I was 207. So, and this is my official weigh-in day. So, love it. Very happy about that. So, now what? I don't know. I have to say there's a couple things I want to talk about today. One is about using things to change your state, which I think is something I have always used food and alcohol for, and this month has also been a really given me a really interesting perspective and awareness about that. And the other thing I want to talk about is taking care of keeping yourself a priority when you're taking care of other people, which I know many of you deal with all the time, but for me that hasn't been an issue so much because I had weight loss surgery just a few months before my son went away to college, and it's really been all about me this whole time. So first, let's talk about changing your state. So one of the reasons that I think that I was able to not gain a considerable amount of weight over this period of time when I was eating things that I don't usually eat, like grilled ham and cheese sandwiches and English muffins and candy, all of the candy. I ate more candy. I ate a lot of candy. It had to do with alcohol and not having alcohol. I have probably in the last month, I had a few cocktails when I went out with Lori Seahorse. Lori! While I was in New Hampshire, I had a few cocktails, but that's it. And that has continued to be in the case in LA. My boyfriend who came back with me is sober, and which is awesome. And so I also am doing that because, of course, I want to support him. But I really do think that had something to do with me not gaining as much weight as I could have. And here's the thing as it relates to changing your state. So, go to New Hampshire, living in a hospital, very scary, emotionally stressful time for a variety of reasons. And I very much wanted to go to alcohol. You know, as many of us know, that often becomes an issue after weight loss surgery when we can't turn to food anymore. And I know that it has been an issue of varying degrees for me through this process. By the time I left to come, by this point in my life, it was much less of an issue than it was maybe last year or last summer. It was a huge issue for me last summer. But it was still an issue. I mean, I was still drinking multiple times a week and drinking at home, not just on like social occasions out with friends. So this put a big stop to that, mainly because I was living in a hospital and because I was supporting someone who was is sober, obviously. But I mean, that's more in play now. But in the hospital, I was in a hospital. But there were times when I very much felt that anxiety and stress, and I was like, I want a cocktail. So I didn't have a cocktail. I had, as I said, grilled ham and cheese sandwiches, candy, English muffins. I very much saw myself reacting to my emotions by eating food, and food there was available all the time. They had a great little cafeteria that had healthy food, but it also had snacks. And there were vending machines there. So 3 o'clock in the morning when I was anxious and scared, I could go down and get candy or cookies, and I would, and I did. And it started to make me a little nervous, and Tanya gave me sort of a wake-up call, and I was like, okay, I got to get this under control because I cannot let the situation throw me off my game, because really one of the most crucial and important things to me is the success that I've had with my weight loss, and I'm not giving that up for anything or anybody. And these are habits that are mine, and I can't, I may occasionally go back and do things I shouldn't do, but I need to be able to get a grip on it, which I did. But here's what I realized was I still needed to change my state. And you know what I discovered that I could use to do that was, let me tell you the healthy thing first. So the one thing I did is anytime anything would happen where I would start to feel emotional overwhelm, which happened a lot, if it was a time that I could do this, I would go for a walk. So I think everybody there pretty much knew when I said, okay, I need to take a minute, I'm gonna go for a walk, that I might be at my emotional limit. So I did that a lot, which was great and healthy and a wonderful coping mechanism to change your state. But the other thing I discovered that's probably less healthy, but 0 sugar, 0 carbs. So these Monster drinks are so much better than sugar-free Red Bull. I used to drink a lot of sugar-free Red Bull, but I haven't in a while. Because it actually has quite a few like 3 or something, quite a few carbs for something that's sugar-free. But they had these Monster drinks and Rockstar drinks that are 0 carb, 0 sugar, and I started drinking those multiple times a day. And that's about caffeine changes your state just like food and alcohol does. And so that's sort of what I used. And is it a great idea? Probably not. Is it better than food and alcohol? For me at that moment, yes. Is exercise the best? Yes. Is meditation and prayer awesome too? Yes. But anyway, once I was like a week and a half in and I realized I was tanking my eating plan a bit, that's what I switched to, and it worked for me, and unfortunately I'm still drinking them. But so that's that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was how it is, it's different for me. I am used to it just being me, only taking care of myself. Because like I said, I had weight loss surgery when my son was getting ready to go to college. I have pretty much been able to just strictly focus on myself and my needs and doing the things that I need to do for this entire period, give or take. And right now I'm not able to do that because I'm caring for somebody who is still, pretty weak and recovering and has more medical stuff in his future, and I am adjusting my life to that. And the one thing that realized, and I did it pretty well when I was still in New Hampshire, but now it's different because it's just me and him. And when we were there were doctors and nurses and his family and other things, and now it's just us. But I really, in my mind, have made it a priority that I have to do me. I have to do those things that are so important to me to keep me sane. And like I said, that was easier to do there. I feel like over this past week, I haven't been doing that as much, and I need to do it. But I think I need to one small step it a little bit because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with work. There's just a different kind of pull on my time than I normally have. So the first thing that I'm going to work on this week to get back in place is I have a morning routine that has changed over time, but that I've talked to you about in various pages. Part of it is journaling, and part of it is prayer, and part of it is meditation. And I need to do that every day. I did it the first few days we were back, but I've seen over the last couple of days I haven't done it. And that, to me, it's baseline for me. I need to do that to stay in touch with myself and what I need to do. So that's my goal for this week, in addition to continuing to eat keto-ish, not keto AF for sure, but getting back on track with my food. And I go back and work out with Brandon tomorrow, so you will see some videos for that, and just kind of getting back into life and what the new normal is. Oh, and also the other thing is, I did on Friday, I went back to therapy, which I think is going to be really important for me over the next few months. So all is well. I want to thank you guys so much. I am so lucky. You know, I have all of these amazing people in my life. When I was in New Hampshire, I met all these new amazing people who I adore, and life is good and blessed, and I feel like I'm sort of living in an alternate reality in some perspective, because in a month my life has changed a lot. But I'm happy and I'm grateful, and I'm so thrilled for those of you I got to meet when I was in New Hampshire, for Lori, who I got to see, and I'm very looking forward to seeing so many of my friends at Obesity Help coming up. And I need to go work on what I'm going to say there. If you guys have, here's something for you. If you've still watched this long, if you can think of one thing that I've said to you or said in my videos that has been a tip or a point that stayed with you, if you could put it in the comments or message me. I want to pull together, maybe 5 of the top tips that I have said that have been helpful to people as part of this presentation that I have at Obesity Help. Okay, you guys have an amazing week. I'm going to kick back the WLS topic of the week as well this week, and maybe the naked truth, not this week, but maybe next week. All right, I love you guys. Have a